My husband is in love with his student. I have no idea what to do. My husband and I, both 35 ran, met in college. We fell in love and got married 8 years back. I gave birth to our daughter in 2020. My husband is a professor at this med school. He's a doctor himself. My friend Sarah also works in the same college, and she's in the same department as my husband. A few months back, in December, Sarah took me out for lunch and told me that she suspected something's going on between my husband and this med student, 25F. She claimed she'd seen both of them give yearning looks to each other. She said that she's known my husband for so long, and she'd never seen him talk to any other woman like this, that he'd been so aloof around women all these years, but it's just different with this one girl. In that moment, I had laughed at her face. I remember telling her that she's jumping to conclusions based on these supposed yearning looks. "That's why I didn't tell you before," she had said. I was confused too. It's not like he goes out of his way to talk to her, but whenever they do talk, it's like watching a slow burn romance movie. She looks at him like he's Brad Pitt, and he looks at her the way he used to look at you. I remember the exact words because they stung. Internally, I was breaking down. Externally, I just smiled and told her that she's probably overthinking. That night, I casually mentioned this my husband. I was laughing at the absurdity, and I expected him to join in and deny the wild possibility that he's in love with a student. But he didn't. Instead, he looked at me, all teary-eyed, and said, "I'm sorry. I can't get her out of my mind. I've tried, trust me. I should have told you sooner, but I thought I could save our relationship. I really wanted to." I asked him if he'd cheated on me. He said no. He said he didn't even talk to her, nor did they have any contact outside of college, and that he completely understood how morally depraved it is to try and pursue a relationship with a student. She wrote him a letter about a year back, confessing her love for him, and he had told her that even though he was into her, nothing would come out of it. Apparently, that was when the yearning looks had started. I honestly don't remember how I reacted then. I think I just started packing and came to live with my parents, along with my daughter. I've been living with my parents since then. Half of me wanted him to come and beg for forgiveness, but he never did. He comes by sometimes to spend time with our daughter, but that's it. He never talks about the elephant in the room, nor do I bring it up. I keep checking that girl's social media. She's insanely beautiful, almost doll-like, and intelligent. I can't help but think that someone like him should be with someone like her. He's always been very good-looking, and I'm more of a plain Jane. She's the Meredith to his Derek. I don't know what to do. What do I even tell people? I don't even know who I am without him. Some part of me still wants him to come back. Edit. I've decided to talk to him. I know I've been avoiding this since months, but after reading all the responses, I feel it's time I rip that band-aid out. I'm going over to our house. I'll update on what happens. TLDR husband just admitted that he's in love with this young woman who also his student. She loves him too. Update. For those who don't want to read the boring details. In short, I have decided to go ahead with the divorce. Long story. The day I made the post, I met up with Sarah for dinner. I thanked her for telling me about my husband and the student, and also for being such a good friend. I asked her about my husband. She said there's nothing unusual. He's been a bit withdrawn and aloof with everyone lately, but that's about it. Yesterday, I went over to my house unannounced. He was there alone in his office. I told him I wanted to talk. He said he'll explain everything. So apparently this woman has had a crush on him since 2 years. Her friends ship her with him. She would stare at him during her rotations and would blush whenever he looked or talked to her. Back then, he didn't think much of it. Many girls have had crushes on him and he always ignored it. About 1.5 years back, they were in the same research group thing. I don't know how this works, but there were 5 to 6 people along with these two. Because of this, they had to spend some time together working, and it was then that he started noticing her. He went into detail about how he was impressed with her intelligence, blah blah blah, and her beauty, blah blah blah. The moment he realized that he had a crush on her, he dropped out of the research thing. This was a year ago. Few weeks later, she gave him the letter confessing that she has feelings for him. The first thing he told her after reading it was, "You can get into trouble because of this." She didn't care. She wanted an answer. "Is it all in my head?" she had asked, to which he replied with, "It's not just in your head, but nothing can come out of it. I hope you understand." That was the last time they interacted. According to him, the yearning looks Sarah described were more of awkward eye contacts than anything else. He told me that even though he is still attracted to her, he has no intention of pursuing any sort of relationship with her regardless whether we stay together or not. He said he's willing to change his job and go to therapy. I told him to give me some time to think about it. To sum up, this has been going on since 3 years. Not once did he mention anything to me. 2. The student and him spent a considerable amount of time last year working on the research. 3. He told her he liked her back, lol. 4. He's still very much attracted to her. And that's why I've decided to go ahead with a divorce. I don't think I can trust this man again. And a relationship without trust isn't something I am interested in. I've told my parents about it. They're not exactly on board, but they're still supportive. I've also contacted my lawyer about the same. It's gonna be a long process, I believe. That's it. I believe this is my last update. TLDR. He's still attracted to her. I won't ever trust him again. We're getting a divorce. Random creep has been keeping me from enjoying my hobby out in public. I recently picked up a new hobby of wildlife photography and have been enjoying it a lot. I only get to do it on the weekends due to my work schedule and being a parent to a teen, so the days I get to go are my savior. I like to go to a certain park, sit, enjoy the solitude, and just watch and take pics. A lot of photographers frequent this park and I've spoken with them and everyone is super friendly, except one dude. Every spot I go to, his dumb car parks next to me and he just sits there. He will say a few words here and there, but mainly, he just sits in silence watching me. He's a photographer also. I don't get the sense he's trying to kill me. It's a very public space and I never am anywhere that others aren't around pretty close. But he's fucking pissing me off, BC. It's about the only alone time I get also, and he's ruining that for me. If I move to another spot, he always ends up following me over there. He will eventually leave after about 15 minutes of me failing to acknowledge his presence, but the more I think about it, the madder I get, because it's making me not want to go to that park anymore. And also because I know damn well he wouldn't be stopping if I was a dude. And it's not like he's taking pics while he's chilling next to me. I've only seen him take a couple pictures. The rest of the times, he's been up my ass nonstop. This is what you get for even saying hi to someone. I feel bad, BC. So many other guys I meet at this park are nothing but respectful, and thus asshole is making it to where I feel like I can't talk to anyone without giving them the idea they can annoy the shit out of me for some female attention. So my question is, what are some creative ways I can tell him to go fuck off without pissing him off badly enough where he may get aggressive? You literally never know these days. I assume he's harmless, but even harmless ones don't take well to being embarrassed by a woman. Update. He is here and of course keeps showing up at every spot I go to. He did stop for a second and I got out and made it obvious I was writing his plate numbers down. He instantly drove off without saying a word. I am still here. And the lake is a big loop, so I keep passing him and he keeps waving and slowing down, but I just keep going. Anytime I see him behind me, I pull over and get right behind him. I think he's got the hint I want him to leave me alone, BC. Now, all of the sudden, he's bugging some other photographers. Taking pics of what they are, taking pics of course. I will be reporting him to the ranger and posting him on the local Facebook page. Thank you all for the invaluable advice. It's really shitty when you think about how many fun activities us women can't participate in, BC, of losers like this. Oop has appeared in the comment thread. First, OP made a comment that only shows on her page. Hey, I'm the OP of this post, and it's funny you mention this. I ended up having to delete my entire Facebook account due to this incident. I believe this man saw me in that group, comment frequently, and possibly showed up hoping he'd find me, which he did. I don't know why else he would just instantly start following me around. I just got a really bad vibe about him. When I went back the next day and he was there before I reported, he was purposely parking at the spots in the park that had baby geese because he knew that's what I was filming. It was sick behavior, and I'm afraid if I go back and see him again, I might do something stupid, BCL. I'm so mad. He took that spot away from me. Permanently. I ended up reporting him, and I saw a police officer patrolling the park not long after. Unsure if there is a connection, but I haven't been back to the park. I now have to go to one that's an hour drive, but it's worth it to feel safer. Back to the Facebook account. The other day, I commented on a group I'm in regarding a diff park 2 hours away. I got an instant message on Facebook from an older man who had a profile pic his wife in it. I assumed he was referring to a comment I made about the other park because he opened with, "If you have questions about where to find wildlife, let me know." So I asked him if he knew of any active fox dens. He said yes, and told me they were in that same park the stalker was bugging me at. Not the park I was talking about in my comment. He goes, "I'll take you and show you where to find the best birds." I instantly blocked and deleted my entire Facebook page. A month ago, I had commented that I had been looking for wood ducks at First Park, where I can't go anymore. This man, the one who DM'd me, had commented he would show me and I ignored it. So a month later, he starts messaging me and saying he's gonna show me where the best birds are, freaked me out and made me feel like he's been watching my activity on FB. Maybe I'm just being paranoid, but I'm playing it safe, and I made a new account with my dad's picture and a fake name of Rick, so I look like an older man, and rejoined the groups. Unfortunately, I am a pariah in these wildlife photography spaces. Everyone in my group is a male over the age of 60. I've never seen a single female in my groups. Not one. It's just me. So my comments stick out like a sore thumb, and so does my presence at these spots. I need to figure out a way to keep myself safer. If I have to give up this hobby, it will end me. I love this so much and I'm good at it, and I don't want to be scared out of a space I deserve to be in. I got a foghorn and pepper spray. I don't leave my car often at all anymore, so I'm at the mercy of what I can film while in a vehicle. I've considered online dating just to find a man to come with me, so I feel safer, like we won't sleep together, but I'll at least buy you lunch and you get a fun day of hiking out of it. Anyways, didn't expect this to blow up so much, but I have gotten nothing but support and I do appreciate every comment. It's sad to see what a universal issue this is for women. We are being pushed out of spaces because some men cannot control their behavior and don't see us as humans enjoying a hobby just like they do. It's like, how dare we infringe on a men's space? It's maddening. You are a true queen, my friend. Bravo. Thank you all for the comments. I am the OP of this post and didn't expect it to blow up. I commented some more details below, but basically I can't go back to the park. I did report him and saw a cop patrolling not long after, but I still don't feel safe enough to go back. I also had to delete my Facebook account and start a new one, posing as an older man using my dad's photo as my profile so I can still interact in these groups. I get good scoop on where wildlife has been spotted, without fear of harassment from the men. I'm a pariah in this space as the majority of the wildlife photographers in my area are retired white men over the age of 65. I am a young woman and the only woman in my groups who actively photograph to film. The rest are just in the group BC they like the pics. I scoured all the pages for a female photographer I could reach out to and see if they wanted to pair up one day, and I couldn't find a single one. All the female photogs in my area are portrait photographers. I am honestly considering starting a Hinge account and looking for a platonic male companion who enjoys outdoors and hiking, who can accompany me to these parks. LOL, like, we probably won't date, and I will not be sleeping with you, but I'll buy you lunch and you'll get a fun day hiking out of it. Desperate times.